بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum, boys and girls, and welcome to Let's Read with Eliza. I hope you're enjoying our channel, and I'd be really grateful if you can like and subscribe to it and share it with your friends and family. I hope your Ramadan is going well and you are looking forward to Eid. And as it is Ramadan, we will be reading Yusuf and Yasmeen's Ramadan Adventure. Now, this book has been written by Fatima, Shalhout and Hussein, Sakr, and has been kindly shared with us by Talween Books. Shall we start? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yusuf and Yasmeen's Ramadan Adventure. Chapter 1. Preparing for Ramadan. Yusuf and Yasmeen were twins who lived in a cosy house with their mother and father. They were always eager to learn about their religion and culture, and they were particularly excited about the upcoming month of Ramadan. Mama, can you tell us more about Ramadan? Yasmeen asked her mother one evening as they sat down for dinner. Of course, my dear, their mother replied. Ramadan is the holiest month in the Islamic calendar. It is a time for fasting, prayer, and reflection. During this month, Muslims all over the world don't eat or drink from sunrise to sunset in order to focus on our spiritual well-being and strengthen our connection with Allah. Wow, that sounds amazing, Yusuf said, his eyes wide with excitement. Can we participate too? Of course, their mother smiled. You are both old enough to start fasting, and I know you will both do a great job. But it's important to remember that it's not just about fasting, it's also about being kind, compassionate, and giving to others. I can't wait to start, Yasmeen exclaimed. I'm going to make sure I wake up for suhoor so that I can have a good breakfast before the fast begins. Me too, Yusuf chimed in. And I'm going to make sure I perform my prayers on time and read the Quran. Their mother hugged them both and said, I'm so proud of you both. Remember, Ramadan is a time for self-improvement and self-reflection. It's a time to think about the less fortunate and to be grateful for all the blessings in our lives. It's a time to come closer to Allah and to be the best version of ourselves. Yusuf and Yasmeen went to bed that night feeling excited and eager for the start of Ramadan. They knew it would be a challenging month, but they were determined to make the most of it and to grow spiritually. Chapter 2. The First Fast. On the first morning of Ramadan, Yusuf and Yasmeen woke up before sunrise to have their suhoor, the pre-dawn meal before the start of the fast. They sat down at the table with their parents and enjoyed a delicious meal of dates, milk, and oatmeal with sliced bananas. This is so yummy, Mama, Yasmeen said as she took a bite of her oatmeal. I'm glad we get to eat a good meal before the fast begins. Yes, it's important to have a good suhoor so you have enough energy for the day, their father replied. And make sure to drink plenty of water at suhoor so that your body will be hydrated. After they prayed Fajr, the dawn prayer, Yusuf and Yasmeen got ready for the day. They put on their best clothes as it was the first day of Ramadan and they wanted to look their best. As they stepped out of the house, they both felt a sense of excitement and nervousness. It was the first time they had fasted and they didn't know what to expect. Throughout the day, they kept themselves busy with school and other activities. They made sure to rest when they felt tired. They also remembered to perform their prayers on time and to read a few verses of the Quran. As the sun began to set, Yusuf and Yasmeen's stomachs began to grumble. They were looking forward to breaking their fast and sharing a meal with their family. Finally, the time had come. They sat down at the dinner table and their mother placed a plate of dates and a glass of water in front of each of them. In the name of Allah, they both said, as they broke their fast. They ate the dates and drank the water, feeling the relief and satisfaction of having completed their first fast. "I did it!" Yasmeen exclaimed, with a smile on her face. "Me too," Yusuf said, beaming with pride. They enjoyed the rest of their dinner with their family, feeling grateful for the experience they had and the feeling of accomplishment. As they lay in bed that night, Yusuf and Yasmeen reflected on their first day of fasting. They knew there would be more challenges to come, but they were determined to complete the month of Ramadan with Allah's help and guidance. They wanted to make sure that they worked on strengthening their connection with Allah. Chapter 3. Giving to Others. As the days of Ramadan passed, Yusuf and Yasmeen grew stronger in their faith and commitment. They continued to wake up early for suhoor, and they were committed to fasting throughout the day. But they also began to realize the importance of giving to others during this holy month. They remembered their mother's words about how Ramadan is not just about fasting, but also about being kind, compassionate, and giving to others. One day, as they were walking home from school with their father, they came across a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk. He looked tired and hungry, and Yusuf and Yasmeen felt a pang of compassion in their hearts. "Let's give him some food," Yasmeen suggested. "Yes, let's do that," Yusuf agreed. They went to a nearby store and bought some dates, a loaf of bread, and some bottles of water. They approached the homeless man and offered him the food and water. "Thank you, children," the man said with a smile on his face. "May Allah bless you." Yusuf and Yasmeen felt a sense of joy and fulfillment in their hearts. They knew they had done something good and that they were following the true spirit of Ramadan. From that day on, they made it a habit to give to others whenever they saw someone in need. They gave money to the poor, shared their food with the hungry, and helped the elderly with their groceries. They also made sure to perform extra acts of charity, such as giving to the mosque's charity box and volunteering at a food drive for the less fortunate. They knew that these lessons would stay with them for the rest of their lives, and they were grateful to have had the opportunity to experience this special month. Chapter 4. Laylatul Qadr. As the final days of Ramadan approached, Yusuf and Yasmeen felt happy that they made it this far. They had been fasting and praying regularly throughout the month, but they knew that the most special night of Ramadan was yet to come. Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. Their mother explained to them that Laylatul Qadr was the night when the Quran was first revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and that it was a night of forgiveness, blessings, and spiritual growth. "We must make the most of this night," their mother said. "We must pray and seek forgiveness from Allah and ask for His guidance and blessings." On the evening of Laylatul Qadr, Yusuf and Yasmeen joined their family at the mosque for the special prayers. They felt a sense of awe and reverence as they stood before Allah and asked for His forgiveness and blessings. The Imam at the mosque gave a short talk after the Tarawih, a special prayer in Ramadan, and he reminded everyone that the month of Ramadan is a chance to increase our taqwa, or your awareness of Allah, in everything we do. After the prayers, they returned home and stayed up late, reading the Quran and making special prayers called dua. They felt a sense of peace and closeness to Allah as they performed their prayers, and they knew that this was a night of special significance. The next morning, Yusuf and Yasmeen woke up with a sense of renewal and spiritual growth. They knew that they had been blessed during the night of power, and they felt a sense of gratitude and humility towards Allah. As they completed their final days of Ramadan, they knew that they had grown not only in their faith, but also in their compassion and generosity. They felt a sense of accomplishment and joy as they reflected on the lessons they had learned during the month of Ramadan. They knew that they would always remember the special memories of their first Ramadan, and they looked forward to many more years of spiritual growth and service to Allah. Chapter 5, Eid ul-Fitr. As Ramadan was coming to an end, Yusuf and Yasmeen were filled with a sense of excitement and anticipation. They had completed their first Ramadan, and they knew that the next day would be a day of celebration and joy, Eid ul-Fitr. On the morning of Eid, they woke up early and got dressed in their new clothes. They joined their family at the mosque for the Eid prayer, and they felt a sense of community and brotherhood as they stood alongside other Muslims united in their faith and celebrations. After the prayer, they returned home to a delicious breakfast prepared by their mother and father. They enjoyed traditional Eid dishes and sweets, and they felt a sense of gratitude and contentment as they shared the meal with their family. Throughout the day, they visited friends and family, exchanged Eid greetings, and enjoyed the festive atmosphere. They also remembered the less fortunate and gave to charity, as a continuation of the spirit of generosity they had developed during Ramadan. As the day came to an end, Yusuf and Yasmeen reflected on the past month. They remembered the challenges they had faced during Ramadan and the lessons they had learned, such as patience, compassion for the less fortunate, and increasing their closeness to Allah. They felt proud of their achievements and would always remember their first Ramadan. But most importantly, they felt grateful for the opportunity to have observed Ramadan, to have grown closer to Allah, and to have shared the experience with their loved ones. They knew that they would continue to carry the lessons and spiritual growth throughout their life, and they looked forward to many more years of Ramadan. Eid ul-Fitr was the perfect way to end a month of devotion and discipline, and they knew that this was the start of a new beginning, a new chapter in their lives. MashaAllah, didn't Yusuf and Yasmeen do well? They had a brilliant first Ramadan, didn't they, boys and girls? And they learned so much that Ramadan is not just about not eating and drinking. It's about all the other good things that they talked about, including patience, compassion, and thinking about others as well. And most importantly, getting closer to Allah through all these good deeds and by worshipping Allah through our salah and praying the Quran. How is your Ramadan going, boys and girls? And is it your first Ramadan this year? And what have you learned during this beautiful month? And do share this with your family and grown-ups. And maybe you can share it with me too by sending me an email at letsreadwitheliza@gmail.com. Hope the rest of your Ramadan is well and have a great Eid ul-Fitr. Eid Mubarak, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.